everyone, and welcome to this episode of Nuggets of Wisdom. I'm Ala, and with me is.
Zaina. Hi, guys.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you had a fabulous week. We are super excited about today's topic.
Yeah, this is for
So,
all the introverts out there.
for everyone, it's an inclusive
Yeah,
topic. We're going to be talking about solitude. We're going to have an honest conversation,
yeah,
Anna and I, about solitude and the beauty of alone time and what it
yeah.
means to us. We're drawing from our own personal experience and
Hmm.
how we are both learning to master the art of solitude and to fall in love with alone time. Both
Yeah,
of us are trying to, I guess, put together our own unique toolbox
yeah,
on,
yeah,
on what to do when we are alone, how to enjoy being alone. For me, when I was reflecting on this topic, I realized that falling in love with your life and embracing your alone time is the seed to attracting beautiful relationships. And you
yeah.
can attest
I
this,
100% agree. Yes,
and
100%.
getting to know yourself is the gateway to getting to know others. And
Yeah,
in solitude, you have to be open to being creative, to being playful and curious, and to explore different things and to try different things and see what resonates with your soul.
yeah. I love this side. Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
it got me super excited when we decided on solitude.
Same. I think we have been living it for a while or trying to do it more or less, but I'm loving that we're resonating on that. Yeah.
And I think that it's this topic, it ties nicely with our discussion on intentions and how to set intentions and
Yeah.
boundaries. All these themes do come up when you spend time with yourself,
Yeah.
when you sit in solitude and reflect and just exist, be
Yeah.
with yourself, get to know yourself.
Yeah.
So how do you see the solitude, Zena? What is solitude to you before I share my perception of
All right.
solitude?
I watched it. I know it's unrelated, but there's a documentary called Ancient Aliens. Just forget the name. I don't know if you watched it, so it's on the History Channel.
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
And they said something which really gave my thinking idea about, which was that every idea of a revolution, like those thought-provoking revolution, kind of like that thought movement
Mhm.
started with, like, for example, they gave Buddha as an example, they gave Prophet Muhammad as an example, and like they said, they all had that solitude cave phase before they started, and they went out
Wow.
starting this thought revolution, which I loved, which I love this analogy of it, how they related the cave and the idea of solitude, them coming out of it, like this idea, or this new idea movement, which I think applies to, I'm not saying like we're gonna, like, applies to you. Whenever you come out of solitude, you come up as a new person, kind of like
Mhm.
that.
I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. And I think in solitude, it's when you quiet your mind and you strengthen your inner voice
Yeah. Yeah.
without any distractions because you don't have any excuse of distracting yourself. It's just you, yourself, me, myself, and I, essentially.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
For,
It's,
for me, my solitude used to be just that guest, that cute guest that would show up every now and then in my life.
and I have
Uh,
to please them.
I like them. I know what they are, but they would leave. But since COVID happened, I live by myself. In lockdown and all that spiel. Um, it decided to move in as a roommate.
Again, permanently, I hope.
At first, I resisted solitude, and it
Yeah.
drove me crazy. And I saw solitude as wearing that layer of loneliness. Like, why do you have to stay with me? Why can't you leave? Why can't I just keep going out and surrounding myself with people, which is
Yeah.
something that's beautiful. It's not something that you need to dismiss out of your life. But I slowly began to acquaint myself with solitude. We're getting to we're getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And for me, I I realized that if in order for me to enter healthy in the future, a healthy relationship, I need to get to know myself. I need to spend time with myself
Yeah.
and see what sparks joy in me, what gets me excited, what sort of
Yeah.
things do I like to do. And it could be as simple as I feel like having ice cream today, or I feel like eating this today, or I feel like doing this activity today. So it's really it's strengthening my inner reflection mechanism. I can
Yeah.
finally listen to my inner voice. And before
Mhm.
I go out before I meet my future partner, I have to get to know me. And I
Yeah.
know you have a beautiful story to share about this. But
Yeah.
what makes me happy? Um, why don't I just explore and try different things? I'm by myself. Yes, it can get lonely at times, but let me appreciate this time and see it as something exciting.
Mhm.
Just an experimentation phase where my inner child gets to come out and play and try different things.
Yeah.
And before I know I'm rambling. I'm
No,
rambling.
I'm loving. No,
I
no, no.
love
You're
this
don't,
topic.
don't. This is our podcast to ramble.
One of my wonderful friends, she's like, enjoy your time alone. She was like,
Mm.
try different things, explore different things, try different cuisines, sign up for classes, um, use this time because I swear in the future, when we get back to our busy lives,
Yeah.
it will sort of take a backseat. So she gave me beautiful advice to just embrace this time, embrace this alone time as part of my journey of self.
Mhm. I love that. Can I ask you a question? Like with that, did
Yeah.
you notice? Because me and Lulu have been on a connection on and off. So I would notice before COVID, she would always complain about her relationship. She'd always be focused about others and their dynamics and how this person hurt her and how like this happened and this happened. But now I want to know, and
I
I
as
want
well.
like, how do you feel like your relationship changes, or like, did you lose people, or did you gain more people? Like, how did that dynamic help you when you resonated with who you are more in that solitude thing?
Well, you brought up an interesting point. The first thing is that I did lose some people. Yes, I
Yeah,
also did gain some people.
yeah, I
It
love.
was this happened when I began to embrace solitude. When I began to reflect on my relationships. This year
Mm,
has been, the main theme has been relationships.
yeah.
What are my boundaries? How do I expect to be treated, but also how do others expect me to treat them?
Mm,
It forced me to revise or reflect on past relationships.
mm-hmm.
Of course, when you do that, you will notice patterns. You will notice repeating patterns.
Yeah.
And if you dismiss them and ignore them, these patterns will come back again.
Yep. Yep. Sadly, I know.
Yes, but the beautiful thing is
Mm-hmm.
that because I began this reflection process, because I am sitting with myself and reflecting honestly with
Mm,
Allah, I feel like because you shed layers,
yeah.
your heart begins to open. And when that happens, somehow by some miracle, your relationships will also begin to improve.
Like the idea of frequency. Now that
Like
your
the idea
frequency
of
is close to
frequency.
how your heart,
Yes.
you're exactly tuning into more people, or like you're
Hmm.
tuning in, or like sending that signal radio to people, like, hey, I'm that. I love that. Yeah.
I love that you bring up the idea of frequency because it's like, okay, I want better. I want change. I
Hmm.
realize that there were unhealthy patterns in past relationships. What can I learn from that?
Yeah.
Maybe unconsciously because I set that intention and I set it free, my frequency is beginning to change. It's beginning to shift.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful. Thank you, Solitude, for coming to visit me and for moving in.
Mm,
Because without that, I wouldn't have gotten to know me on such a personal and intimate level.
yeah. I love that. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed that a lot. All right. My story with solitude goes a little bit. It didn't happen at COVID, but it happened a few years back.
Hmm.
And it was just the start of me like healing and like getting like the onion, getting rid of lots of skins and just shedding lots of layers. And I was forced into that isolation phase. It was my second year at working, so it was my second year working,
Hmm.
or going into my second year. Uh, and it was my last visit to going back to Jordan. So I was traveling to Jordan for the last time. And I don't know, for whatever kind of coincidence, I was, Safa, our cousin, wasn't here. And our other, Khaltu Inas's, Sumaya and Asma. Also, they were on and off. They were very, very busy, and I think they traveled much earlier than I anticipated. So I was really forced into that alone phase. And my mom, she had lots of friends, so that interaction with my mom, that wasn't really going there. And so I really was forced into that isolation phase. So I was just forced into that. With my brother was always hanging out with every like with his friends and family, like that he can hang out with. But for me, I was forced into that isolation phase. And at first, it was very, very, very boring. For me, it's like, oh, what am I doing here? Like, that, like, I think every cousin who goes to Jordan is like, oh, it's so boring. And then I started to get, huh, that little, like, excitement, more or less. I really appreciated it. Like, I would stare into the skies a lot. I was lucky to have a great view, and my bed was automatically like looking out to the window. So I would look at the stars a lot. And our house is like on a hill, kind of like that. So you would see like lots of lights and like lots of like, yeah. So it was very amazing. I would go to the roof a lot and just see the morning and the sunshine and when the like sunrise coming up. So I started to notice nature more.
Hmm.
And yeah, and when I started to notice nature, I started to get these intuitions, more or less. My intuition started to increase. I
Wow.
started to get hints. Like I remember there was a specific intuition in which, I don't know, I kept repeating itself. Like the next 6 years are gonna be very, very busy, but the reward is gonna be good. And in those 6 years, I was doing my master's. I was working in I got a promotion that I really didn't expect, and it was very tough at first. Like I couldn't handle it, but my God, those like yeah, there were a lot. So I felt like. And like I needed to that moment, that solitude to relax, to get to really know myself. And I started to know what I liked more, what's acceptable for me more. I started, and after that phase, after that summer, I went back to Egypt, and I started to like I really didn't care what other people were saying, like kind of that mentality. Yes, I kind of cared a little bit, but it started to really, because I was such in a people pleasing mode,
Hmm.
so it started to lessen itself. I would find myself like I really didn't care what's going on around me. I started to notice exactly my emotions. I would really articulate them very well. For me, I felt
Wow,
like,
Zaina.
yeah, like with the emotions, I started to like, just like an ice cream that you're tasting. It's
Hmm.
like, yeah, this, I'm feeling like this, and that. I started to be very specific. So yeah, it was just that, and I like a life changing thing. So, and when COVID added to that, I felt like now I'm getting to figure out, like I finally unleashed my inner self, and I think I told
Solitude
you that
level two.
yesterday.
I'm still in level one.
But now I feel like I just wanna, like, I'm unleashing myself, but I wanted to connect with my consciousness. Like I'm aware who Zaina is, but there's still like that. I need that connection between my mind or my consciousness to realize and fully live for Zaina. I'm starting to do it, but and like you said, I lost lots of people. I'm gaining true friendships at the same time. I'm very like when it comes to like partnerships and like future husband, like the future husband. I'm very becoming very specific, because like I said, like we said, like I need to figure out exactly what is my normal, So when
Mm.
anything happens, like when I'm inviting a friend over, or anything, like when I'm getting like the outside people into my house or my inner self, I would be like, my normal would not be uh, manipulated into pleasing what other people, or what other people might want, or
Mhm.
what other people might realize. So yeah, it's just it's just I need that connection, like that click.
This is so beautiful, Zana, because I feel like you're giving me a preview to what's going to come next with Solitude.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to be honest, I really, Solitude came to my life, really prominently in March. So
yeah,
I'm still working with it, and
yeah.
still to this day, I push it, I resist it. I feel like I
It's
want
kind of boring sometimes. You're forced into that
boring.
mode.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And it pushes me to, escapist strategies. But with what you're saying,
thank
your
you.
beautiful
Yeah,
story, you just shared how beautiful it can be and how transformational solitude can be in your life. Even at
and you
first, like you
accept the
said,
pain
you were bored at
easier.
first, right?
What?
You said you were bored at first.
I was
And you
so
were being
bored. I was
alone.
really bored, very bored, and I would use like lots of things to distract me, from watching videos to
Mhm.
watching YouTube to watching like Facebook, social media, Netflix. I think I was in, yeah, and we had fast internet, so we just watch series online. So it wasn't really, it wasn't like at first it was really boring, and I remember I would do a lot of online shopping. And after that, I started to realize, like, okay, what's going on here? I started to have these inner talks with myself, like it didn't happen. Like I wasn't forced to do that. I just happened naturally. I don't.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
this is the best that I can describe it. It just happened naturally. I just felt like I'm getting to know myself more. I'm starting to have like these inner talks. Like I remember I would sit in my bed for hours and hours and just have these conversations. I was like, okay, and I would have these conversations. Be like, all right, what did we do today? What do you want? What do you want to do? How are you feeling right now? And
I
me and
love
myself were
it.
just
I'm starting to do this just now.
not in a crazy
The past
way,
few
but
days.
yeah, just really talking to myself. And I can see like sometimes like how can yourself be a little bit of a trickster sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, it was just like long conversations with myself, more or less.
I love this. For me, so you brought up two aspects. The first
Yeah,
one is
yeah,
sometimes in solitude, you don't have to be doing grand things or exciting activities. Sometimes
yes,
it's just sitting on your couch or bed, even if it's for hours, just just silencing your mind and let the
yeah,
inner voice lead the way. What is it
yeah,
telling you? Like you said, how are you feeling?
mm,
Um, what is it that I want to do? Just listen. Just listen.
yeah,
Just be. Just exist. And for me, the other aspect to it is that I feel like I am starting to have that conversation of what is it that I like, what excites me, what brings joy to my life.
yeah,
And I shared this with you yesterday, is that I've been doing a lot of meditation, so that's helping me with grounding to
yeah,
balance the masculine energy side of me, but I also need to add some joy, some flow into my life, which is more,
yeah,
the feminine energy. So I asked myself, what is it that I want to do? What do I feel like doing? And my brain at first was like, it's COVID. Everything
yeah,
everything is virtual, and
yeah,
you love to go out and you love to do in-person stuff. So let's wait. Let's wait until COVID is over so you can go out more. But then I stopped myself. I'm like, no excuses. What I feel
mm,
like doing, what will excite me? I want to know myself. I want to know myself, just add another layer to my inner knowing. And so I decided to take a few days off from work,
okay,
and I will be disconnecting from my phone because that's also
yeah,
another layer of distraction. It can
yeah,
also be an escapist strategy. and just sit with myself and do fun stuff. So I signed up for like a dance class. I'm going to be going to I'm going to do an acupuncture session. I'm just going to do whatever I want, whatever I feel like doing, even if I'm sitting on my bed and doing nothing. Maybe I need to master the art of doing nothing.
Nothing. Yes.
So I'm actually,
your conversation,
I'm actually excited tomorrow. That's when I'm going to start.
You're going to start tomorrow?
Yeah, my retreat.
All right. I think we should do a reflection on it next week. Like Solitude 2.0.
I also signed up for a yoga class. Like I'm just, these are the things that I feel like I want to do at this moment. These are the things that I feel like, will make my inner child happy and excited.
I love that.
So one thing about Solitude is that it strengthens my connection with my inner child. It's encouraging me to get to know my inner child. And
to get to know the real Ella more or less, The real Did you notice how I usually call you Lulu and I just automatically said Ella without, I love that.
Because deep inside I'm Ella, not Lulu.
True,
so this is my current journey with Solitude. But you really got me excited, Zaina, about what's coming.
Me, I'm like yesterday when you told me that, where you said something very important here. You said there's no excuses, and this is the connection. I feel like I'm lacking because my mind is right now. I think right now I want to do three main things or two main things. First of all, I really want to reconnect with my religious spirituality more. I want to do some efforts with it. And the second thing, I want to read more. And I have two books right now sitting on my stand, and I'm not going near them. The stand next to my bed, I'm not going near them, and they're always there. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm accepting the fact that, okay, you don't want to read. You had a long day. You had your job. You're dealing with too many people, and you need to disconnect. And then when you go home, your family needs certain priorities, etc., etc. So, and he told me that no excuses. Okay, no. So if you want to read, all right. If you want to read it, all right. I'll make it part of your habit schedule if this is what you want. And my mind's like, no. You don't need that. You don't need that. And
it's cool and everything else.
Yeah, you have too many grades and you have too many paperwork. No, you didn't. But I want to do this. I really want to do this. So I'm trying to integrate both into, especially for now, I want to start with breathing. And I'm starting to get it more there. Like yesterday after we spoke, I read my first couple of chapters.
Nice.
So it's you know what, no excuses. Of course I slept by the second chapter. I found myself snoozing off, but I'm glad. You know what, I'm glad it's that in my energy field, all right, this is what you want.
Zaina, we briefly touched on this yesterday, on how your relationships do transform when you embrace solitude. And I attended this talk one time, and she was it was about, I think, soulmates or relationships, and she said that the people that she worked with, the ones that ended up attracting the partner that they wanted, were the ones that were so in love with their lives, were doing the things that they enjoy. They were just enjoying being single, enjoying spending time with themselves, enjoying being your own. So,
let's came to that. My favorite relationship right now. All right.
Spirit animal.
Yeah.
So I think that's beautiful, and it's something that I do think about often, to be honest.
All right. When I remember when I told you the 4-year the thing when I with the Jordan thing, you know what happened after it? What's it called? I really there was a certain friendship in my life where I felt there were a lot of boundaries that I didn't realize were being broken. there's like the give is much more than the take, and I had an intuition in which it said like you need to end this relationship. Of course, me being that people pleasing mode, I was like, no, I'm not gonna end it. No way, right, Zinga? Right? I'm not gonna end it. So and it ended like for me. Like remember when I told you like you need to protect like even if you went to attack mode a little bit, you need to protect your boundary, especially when you got to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone is that at a threat, some people might not realize what's going on. So I started to I gained two really good friendships, amazing friendships, like really amazing. Like I'm really glad. I
Wow.
mean, Nada and Sumaya, I love you guys. But at the same time, I felt like because of this imbalance, I started to lose what friendship I already had. And even though sometimes like this is the one thing that I regret, like it ended not the way that I wanted to end, but I feel like we both made our peace with how it ended and how I acted and how we both acted. Uh, but I felt like I needed to disconnect myself from that because I don't feel like it's a representation of where I want to be or who I am at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and even if it got for me, it got a bit toxic at that moment, but I felt like it was needed for me to have that, even though it was a bit violent, not violent to the like energetically insensitive more or less, but I needed to have that conversation. And after that, I feel like my boundaries were very clear. What I want, what topics, even with the like, even when I'm doing a delivery order or like like here, like for example, I'm starting to like even my dynamics with my students. I am a teacher, and you guys are the students. Like that dynamic for me was so, but like it really helped me out figuring that dynamic instead of just focusing like you're not just also my students, you guys are my friends, you guys are my like you're my bros, kind of like that. But now I'm starting to have that more or less the boundaries even with these little guys, like yeah, like that boundaries clarity more or less,
I love
and
that.
even goes to the minute details of the conversation. What conversation do I want to have, and what kind of topics do I like? Is it acceptable for me to talk about this with certain people or not? Kind of that into that minute detail, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for.
I think that's so beautiful. It's the best self-love gift you can give to yourself. The best
Yeah,
form of self-love, I guess,
yeah,
you can give to yourself because it's as if Zena, it aligns you with your authentic self,
yeah,
with your true self, who you really are. And I think
yeah,
that's why maybe Zena, without you realizing it, like unconsciously, you are beginning to set these boundaries. Like your inner core tells you like how to behave, what sort of things to say. So your
yeah.
inner guide, its voice is actually loud and clear now, whereas before maybe um, there
It
were
wasn't that loud and clear. It was mixed signals.
mixed
It
signals.
wasn't. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I tell you like about this? A perfect example. My when I'm ordering food back when I was doing like I was eating some junk food, and my brother would whenever when I noticed when I would be calling for the food delivery, it would always come on time. There's nothing wrong with it, and everything is clear. Everything is like good. Nothing's
Mhm.
wrong with it. But whenever my brother is calling, he would always call with the fear of like that signal of you're gonna mess up my order, and because he'd always get mixed up with his order. So whenever you call the order, there will be always a problem with his order,
Wow. Like
always.
frequency that he would send out.
Yeah, so even caught like getting your food or like talking to that person in front of you, that conversation is very very important. Like what exactly are you saying? What exactly are you trying to say? Like like sometimes you might say something but you mean something else, and this is like the conversation that we had with the frequency, the internal versus the external.
Hmm.
Inside you're saying like you're gonna mess up my order, but externally you're saying I want this and that, so of course they're gonna mess it up.
Zena, this is like a beautiful. You just said beautiful nuggets, Zena, which I think it's key. It's one of
Yeah.
the keys to being or to entering healthy relationships, be it
Yes.
friendships or romantic relationships,
Yeah.
because you really know what you want.
Yeah.
You really know what's acceptable to you and what's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, like right now whenever I think about like how like talking to my boss or whatever, I'm directly gonna say what I want. Like I'm not gonna go into a tactic mode exactly what I want to say and this meaning like that, but it should be like this now drains my energy thinking, you know how like you put like this entire plan talking to your boss about certain things. But now you don't want to do that. You just want to be like, hey, I'm under lots of pressure. Can you ease up a little bit? Or hey, can I get a rate? Whatever it is I want to say.
I need to learn how to do this, and I think, do you think that solitude helps you get in touch with your heart? So now you're
Of
actually
course.
speaking out of your heart.
Yeah. It's like kind of aligning what you
Mm-hmm.
want to say inside your true self. Like the heart, I feel like is the window to the soul. So so the bigger the window, the more that you get to hear yourself more. You know?
I'm still learning how to open that window.
Yeah.
Like I said, my brain still tries to, take the driver's seat, but I'm working on that. But the things that you shared really give me hopes and are really getting me excited about solitude and the alone
Yeah.
time that I will have, I think, for a while now until we get back to work. And it's definitely, even when we go back to work in person, it's something that I want to continue to incorporate in my lifestyle, in my daily
Yeah.
routine. Um, so one thing that I want to say before we conclude is that I used to be obsessed in a few years ago with reading those blog posts about 3 things to do to transform your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 things to do to start being more energetic or to be a morning person.
How to know that you're on like this person likes you or not? I used to do
How
that.
to know that you're aligned. And then I would honestly implement them. Like
Yeah.
what these are honestly, these are beautiful articles or blog
Tips.
posts. They
Yeah.
really help you. They inspire you. They let you see, what other people are doing on their own respective journey, and I used to implement what they're doing step by step. So he would wake up at 4 a.m. I would wake up at 4 a.m. But then I
But
would
does
feel
it work for you?
exhausted and exactly. I would feel demotivated, and I'm like, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
Now I actually am, like, it's encouraging me to put together my own toolbox. Like
Yeah.
listen to my inner voice. What is it that I want to do? How can I create my own list of things that, whether it's hobbies, whether it's daily rituals that
Yeah.
allow me to get back in alignment. So
Yeah.
I'm still allowing myself to be inspired by what other people are doing. I think it's a powerful motivational mechanism, and it shows you that you're not alone.
But you're now picking what's beneficial or
Exactly.
what you feel like is going to work for you.
What's resonating with my soul,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I absolutely love and I'm super excited about to continue.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such a beautiful topic, Zana. I want to keep talking about it, but I know that we have to conclude.
I know.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, on today's discussion of solitude. We hope that you resonated with it. If so, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends and family. We are now uploading to YouTube specifically,
Yeah.
but you can reach us via our Instagram channel, and we also launched our Twitter page. So through that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And Facebook too, if you want to add
And
there. If
Facebook.
you're,
We're tapping into all the social media networks.
yeah, we're putting that frequency out there. Am I right? Kind of like that. Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And we hope to see you next week. If you have any comments, any suggestions, please don't hesitate to reach us or comment on
Please.
below the videos that we post. Bye bye,
Yep.
everyone. See you next week.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.